Hi, everyone. This is the last one of this year, and I'm not sure if I'm going to continue next year. So let's see. Welcome to Everybody is a Story, Everybody Has a Story. And today, my special guest, Aqueene Wilson. How are you?
Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Welcome. Like I start every interview, I'm going to start yours as well. Jij bestond al in de eierstokkenbaarmoeder van jouw oma. What do you know about her and how has she influenced your life so far,
I don't know that much about her. I never met her. I al- also never really heard like stories or like proper stories about her. I've heard like little bits and pieces, but not who she was as a woman or what she did for a living or sometimes even the most basic things I don't know.
Mm,
Um, and what that did to me. I mean, growing up, I never felt like I missed something, but as I
mm-hmm,
get older, I'm like, I wish I at least got to see her or in her space life element. Um,
mm-hmm,
I also feel more of a connection as I grow older with her. So that's
mm-hmm,
interesting how that has kind of grown and to have a connection with someone you've never met is also
mm-hmm.
yeah, it's kind of it's special.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah,
yeah. Okay. Um, if we start looking at your journey so far, I always divide it in blocks. So the first 7 years of your life, what do you remember about them? What was impactful, positive or negative?
the first 7 years of my life, the most impactful would have to be, unfortunately, the relationship of my parents because it wasn't a good one, and I did see a lot, and it's interesting because there's people who tell me that I had a great relationship with my dad when I was very, very young, but I have no recollection of it. I only
Mm,
have a recollection of the bad days and
mm.
the screaming. That I don't have memories of us being besties at all.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Okay.
so I guess the negative overshadowed the positive
Mm-hmm.
so much that I don't remember it.
Mm,
Um, I played a lot outside, and that was such a fun space to be with my brother. With the other
mm-hmm.
kids, didn't really matter where I lived because we did travel a lot. But in Curacao, played outside a lot. In the Netherlands, played outside a lot. I also think it was somewhat of an escape as well from home. But even with that, we then did have an outlet and a free space. And even now, when I see kids just behind their screens, I'm so glad that I was born then and not now.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. Yeah, I can imagine that. Okay. Okay. And then from 7 till 14, what is
Mm.
there that stays or is imprinted?
Imprinted. I still the relationship of my parents. It did shape me good and bad.
Hmm.
Um, when I was 14, I was really so my parents divorced and my dad wanted custody over us or he wanted to see us and I was like, no, I don't want to see you. And that was like a very it was a lesson, but at the same time, I don't think at the time I saw it as a lesson. I saw it as just like, no, I feel like I don't want any contact with you.
Mm,
And despite what other people thought. Because in Curacao is, well, I don't think it's just Curacao. I think it's a worldwide thing, but
Mm-hmm.
I lived here, so let's base it on Curacao. There's a lot of people saying like, but he's your dad, you're gonna regret it, you're still a kid, so they don't take you serious. And I'm like, but
Mm-hmm.
you didn't live in this house and you don't have my experiences and you don't know my
Mm-hmm.
feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow I knew very clearly at 14, like, no, I don't care if I'm going against what everybody thinks, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a no for me. And I kind of, that was the beginning of realizing the power of my no, and also seeing
Mm-hmm.
that even though everybody will be against you, it's still not the end of the world.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay. Interesting. Um, okay. Let's move on from
Yeah.
there. 14 till 21. What happened there for you that was significant, powerful, maybe even?
Um, I would say dance. I danced a lot, and also we went to um, Florida. We had a festival there, and I just I love dance. Sometimes I didn't want to go, but everybody has that. But in general, it was really like this creative way. I learned discipline. I learned a lot, and I noticed what I learned even now, like in present
Mm.
day. I still
Okay.
have things where I'm like, oh, if I didn't go to dance, I wouldn't have applied it this way, or
Uh-huh.
putting things together. And it's never just about dance. It's like community, but also how do you organize things? And it's such a big element of my life right
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also just even though I was a very, very shy kid, just being in the presence of other girls that had kind of like the same passion,
Mm-hmm.
I always, even now, I kind of go back to that, like, oh, I wish I still had that because that was my base, my foundation, and now it's just like
Mm-hmm.
you solo.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Impactful 14 to, I went to the Netherlands to study,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just the first time that I was on my own as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
First time to take a plane, first time to live on my own. First time, a lot of firsts, a lot of firsts,
Mm-hmm.
and just being in a city that I've never been in, never seen, never experienced.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but it was also tied to a lot of freedom and like exploring myself and
Mm-hmm.
what do I want and how do I want to feel in my day, and
Mm-hmm.
not like I have to do this because my mom tells me. No, it's just like, what do you want for dinner? I want this for dinner. Let me do that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just the coming of age of it all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, Trying to think if there's something else 14 till 21. Mm, no, I think those are the most impactful things, I would
Mm-hmm.
say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. And then 21 till 28?
Hmm. I feel like 21 to 28 is such a different life from the
Mm.
first 21 years.
Mm-hmm.
I started a new study and I actually enjoyed it a lot. I never thought that I would go in such a theoretical direction.
Mm-hmm.
But I really liked researching, I liked reading, I liked like investigating certain topics. It was really the groundwork for also what I'm doing now.
Okay.
Um, After my studies, I did have a really hard time finding my place in the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think there's like a huge gap between when you studied something and then you have to
Mm-hmm.
enter the workspace, the work field.
Yeah.
There's this gap of like, one, will I get a job? Two,
Sure.
will I get the job in the direction that I studied?
Uh-huh.
And also just like the financial responsibility that comes along.
Uh-huh.
Like
Uh-huh.
now life really gets serious. When you're studying and you still get a little yeah, like subsidy from the
Mm-hmm.
government. Um, it's still different. Like I worked, but it was part time. It's a different type of pressure.
Uh-huh.
And when you're fully responsible for yourself for the first time, yeah, there's just, you also start to doubt, should I stay in this artistic space or should I just get a, I don't know, 9 to 5? But I know of myself, I would also be deeply unhappy if I were
Mm-hmm.
to do other things. So then it's like, okay, how can I make it work? But I
Mm-hmm.
moved from job to job. Uh, a lot of cultural, I think I had this image in my head of what a work, a workspace, a job, an organization would look like. And I was deeply disappointed by the reality of it because it was so chaotic. And I was like, huh? Aren't there rules in place or aren't there ways of working that are already planted? And yeah, the answer was no. I saw it in real
Mm-hmm.
time. And I hated this so much, but I was always the one who had to say or reveal the issue in the organization and be like, this is
Okay.
not working, guys. Like,
Uh-huh.
we need to do better, or I feel this and this and this, or I experienced this on the work floor. And I know that other people feel the same way, but they would never say it.
Okay.
And then kind of also became a pattern of, I'm always the one that has to do this. I'm always
Mm-hmm.
the one speaking up. I'm always, and I hated that. And my mom was always like, this is your, this is your path in life. Like, you just gotta accept it at this point because this is in your
Mm-hmm.
cards.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me a long time to accept that, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if I'm fully there yet, even now when I'm 30. But
Mm-hmm.
okay, that was kind of that journey. And then also health wise, I was really struggling. Um, so I've always had irregular periods. And in the beginning, I didn't really care that much. I was like, great, I'm not bleeding. Oh well, keep it
Mm-hmm.
pushing. And I don't remember the specific age, but it was the first time that they did like an echo. Okay, no, I wouldn't get my period for a very long time, but then I would
Mm-hmm.
get it and I would bleed so heavily, like I can't go to work.
Mm-hmm.
So go to the doctor, etc. And then I had an echo, and it was also such a weird thing. You assume that a doctor is safe, or you want it to be a safe experience, and it
Mm-hmm.
never was for me. The first time um they did an echo, and it was like, yeah, I went with a friend, and she was like, oh, should I hold your hand? I was like, yes. He was like, oh no, it won't hurt. I'm like, no, excuse me, sir. You don't know how it will feel for me. And also, even if it were not to hurt, she's there for support. Like, so you automatically already feel like tense.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the first time that I was diagnosed with PCOS,
Mm-hmm.
but there wasn't a follow up.
Mm-hmm.
I remember calling them like, what's the result? Like,
Mm-hmm.
they're like, oh yeah, you have PCOS. Like, okay, but yeah, you just need to learn to live with it. do you want to go on birth control? I'm like, not necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then, yeah, this is it. And
Okay.
I kind of also shrug it under the rug because,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, what is a girl to do?
Mm-hmm.
And then if we fast forward a few years later, it just became worse and worse. Like I would feel like I'm on a period in terms of symptoms,
Mm-hmm.
cramps, um, my mood, but I wouldn't necessarily bleed.
Mm-hmm.
And this would go on for months, sometimes a year. I think, yeah, the longest may have been like 60 months or something. And then the contrast to bleeding heavily, it was just unbearable. And at first, it was just the period, but then it
Mm-hmm.
became throughout the whole month. It wasn't just a specific week, it
Mm-hmm.
was every single day. And I started to get more and more tired, and it was difficult. Like, how do I work and provide for
Function.
myself,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
but I'm slowly dying? Basically, that's how it felt
Mm-hmm.
like. And I'm still getting emotional about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you just feel really alone and also misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you don't understand your body, you don't trust your body
Mm-hmm.
because I'm doing everything right. I'm looking at my food, I'm working out. Like, why am I not feeling
Mm-hmm.
better? Uh, up until the point that there was just a breaking point where I was just bleeding so much. The only option was to handle it right on and to seek help again, because it's like, am I bleeding out? Am I gonna
Mm-hmm.
die? Like, it's
Mm. Extreme.
that. Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
very, very extreme. And then we did another test, go to another doctor. It was a more pleasant experience, but I still always felt like I needed to convince doctors that something is wrong with me. And I
Mm-hmm.
needed to kind of like put pressure on my doctor, like, I need to see a gynecologist. Like, this is not just, I'm in a bad mood. This is, I
Mm-hmm.
can't go
Function.
to the grocery store. I can't function. I do one
Mm-hmm.
trip and I'm exhausted. I'm floored. This is not about my food. I know you
Mm-hmm.
always want to put it on the food. It's not,
Mm-hmm.
obviously it helps, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's the learning to live with it and the way that people respond to it that has
Mm-hmm.
been the most difficult, and it still is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's basically the thing, at least, because you cannot see it from the outside, right? That you're sick.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. And it's also with friends, like, you don't want to cancel, but actually you're really, really tired after just meeting someone for like 2, 3 hours. You're like, I gotta end
Mm-hmm.
this because
Mm-hmm.
I don't have more energy in me. And you also don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be the tired friend or the lazy friend or the sick friend all the time, but
Mm-hmm.
you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I look fine. I like clothes and looking cute. So
Mm-hmm.
that's, for me, it's not really a cover up, but they then kind of see it as such. It's like, yeah, but you don't look sick though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's a hard pill to swallow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then 28 to 30.
28 till 30, I would say, is just the extension of what I just said. We're
Mm-hmm.
still getting sick a lot. Um, I went to India when I was 29, 28, anyway, around that age. And
Mm-hmm.
right before I went, I was sick, very, very sick. Then I went to India, nothing, clear as day, enjoyed my life. I came back to the Netherlands, sick as a dog again. And I took that personally as a sign like, okay, I can't. There's also something about the country. It's not just
Mm-hmm.
the body thing,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe it is, but your body's responding to something as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I was like, it's been already a few months, if not years, that I wasn't entirely happy in the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, if this is the sign, I'll take it as the sign. And I decided to move back home to Curacao.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, did everything very quickly, sold my clothes, and I think within like 2, 3 months, or maybe 4 months, I was back.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think about those last periods, now I'm like, whoa, I don't know how I did it, to be honest, because my energy is at 0%, and I was still working. I was cleaning, my studio. I had help here and there, but yeah, I don't know how I got on that plane. I do remember calling my mom sometimes, like, I don't know, I can't continue. I don't know. And she trying to be like, okay, Kenny, you're almost there. Like, we got almost just
Mm-hmm.
push through a little bit. I know you're over your boundaries, but come on. And then I also had such difficulty letting go of material things because I
Mm-hmm.
needed to clean out my studio.
Mm-hmm.
That was so hard for me because I had this idea that if I get rid of them now, I would never receive anything after that. Like I would never get anything during after that.
Okay.
So that kind of like mind those mind games I also needed to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the letting go in general, I could see how that helped me because coming and landing on Curacao, I wasn't necessarily watching my weight, but throughout the months, I also started letting go of a lot of emotional weight. And I was like, sometimes you just need to let go. Like we hold on to so much. And
Mm-hmm.
so that move to Curacao was a very necessary, but also brave move because you let go of kind of the last 10 years of your life and how you
Yeah.
build your life. And
Yeah.
then you start over again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not always easy. It's something that you want, and at the same time, it's not easy. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
In the first months, I felt kind of ashamed for not working. Um, I needed it. Like I was tired, and I also
Mm-hmm.
made kind of a conscious decision. Like I'm not gonna work. I was gonna live with my mom. I did like the cooking and the dishes, the housework. Let's call it that. But other than that, I didn't really seek any uh work.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt so much shame for, in a way, in my head, it was like, I'm not contributing to the household, but also it was tied to my worth. Like, what am I worth if I'm not working? And I really needed to go through that journey and also let people think what they're gonna think because everybody was like, "What you gonna do now?" And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I just got here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but sometimes I would avoid meeting people. 'Cause I'm like, I'm not here for the oh nothing. Oh, what are you? I'm not here for it. I don't know the answers. I don't have the answers, and we don't need to know now. And I did know that eventually, obviously, I was gonna, start
Mm-hmm.
my life back again. I was never uh, planning on just doing nothing, but those first
Mm-hmm.
few months I needed to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I would
Okay.
say, yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
those were the impactful things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When you look at your life, um, and it's a book or a movie, what title would you give it?
Today I would give it, yeah. Um, whoa.
Blank.
Yo,
Okay.
yeah. It would just be a photo of me, I guess, without a title.
Okay. Interesting. Or are there many titles coming up and you don't know which one to choose, or is literally nothing coming up?
No, there's titles coming up,
Mm-hmm.
but if you're like one specific, but I'm like, okay, it would have to be with like finding me, finding my voice, but also maybe I believe, and maybe that's a bit me being in denial or hopeful, but I believe that this thing that I'm going through with my body and
Mm-hmm.
that it won't be forever this way.
Mm. Okay.
Some of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so in terms of titles, I'm also thinking a thing of like overcoming or
Mm-hmm.
in that
Mm-hmm.
direction,
Yeah.
finding,
Okay.
exploring.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. What have you learned from your father?
Eh, eh, eh. I have learned, you know what's interesting and sad at the same time?
Mm.
I have a clear memory of him and I sitting in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, Aqueene, I need you to be independent so that if
Mm-hmm.
any man comes and fucks up your life, you can stand on your own. So in a way, that was a very specific be independent.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Ask. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um, and in the back of my mind, I do have that a little bit. Like I can't fully trust that you got me throughout. No.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he was on the discipline. I definitely learned that.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I also kind of learned through his behavior that I can't trust men,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, or they're not safe. And that is this very big thing for me. If I
Mm-hmm.
don't feel safe, I won't open up. It's just point blank periods. I don't have
Mm-hmm.
that with men only, but it's more severe. Like I just it's not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something else? I've learned how I don't want to be.
Treated.
Sorry?
Treated.
How I don't want to be treated, but also how I don't want to be as a person.
Oh, okay. Okay. As a human being. Okay.
Yeah,
Ow.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
very painful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not fair in a way because I don't really know him as a person. I know him as,
Mm.
yeah, I don't know, a provider, I guess, or like
Uh-huh.
someone who was there, but really him as a person, I don't know. He didn't really
Mm.
let us in like that. But even from the glimpses that I've seen, I'm like,
Uh-huh.
no, I'm good.
Okay. What I also find interesting, and hear this a lot, unfortunately, as well, is like that men tell their daughters or the women in their lives to indeed not to depend on men. You have to be independent. But it's so crazy. But they tell actually about themselves, we're not going to hold you. We're not going to take care of you. And that's crazy. Why would you say that about yourself? I don't get that.
It's
That's a
very,
whole other story. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
I agree.
crazy. Like don't trust ourselves, so therefore you should not trust me. Hello. Yeah, so
Hmm.
crazy.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
very weird.
it is weird. Yeah. Okay, and what did you learn from your mom?
I learned, you know what I learned that even, I think that's also the reason why I was able to move to Curacao. Like, even if you let go of everything you have, everything you've made, everything, whatever, you can
Mm-hmm.
always start over. Because I've seen her done it so many times with nothing. So I've
Mm-hmm.
definitely seen that. And now I also don't think of it as the end of the world. I still find it difficult, but it's not like I see with other people or friends around me, they can't do it. Like their minds,
Mm-hmm.
they an error. And I'm like, you can just start over, you know? So that's definitely a thing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that you don't have to be um tied, stuck to one thing. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you want to be a cook, but it's a cook that only cooks on Saturdays, then you do that. It doesn't have to be how society expects us to. Like you can be the designer of your own life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what if I learned from my mom? That if you don't put your boundaries up, people gonna fuck you over. Unfortunately. Yep. Yeah. I've seen her be like so giving and and I'm like, no, 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 no. I've also seen the consequence of that, and we're not gonna do that. So
Amen. Okay.
I would say, yeah, those three things come up now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So funny this. Okay. Um, what does the world need?
Emotional maturity and rest.
Emotional maturity and okay. Can you tell her?
Can I?
Can you tell her about that?
Yeah. I would say emotional maturity because we often tend to rely on things like love and peace and happiness. And while I do think those are important, I also think they're already here and it's changing nothing. I
Mm-hmm.
think in order to really practice those things, you need the emotional maturity to nurture it and for it
Mm-hmm.
to maintain a sustainable thing as well, and for it
Mm-hmm.
not to be a vague concept, but something you can practice right here, right now, in
Mm-hmm.
relation to other people and not just in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that we focus, if we tie it also back to the sickness that I have and people not being able to see what I have, and then they can't understand me. In general, we have this thing of like, if we can't visibly see what's going on, it's not there. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think with emotional immaturity, you can better understand things that you don't necessarily see, but you get to be in touch
Mm-hmm.
with your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
You tap more into empathy, also for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, Understanding, communication. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So I think emotional maturity comes with so many things that we could definitely grow more into.
Mm-hmm.
And rest, obviously that's also a personal thing for me because I truly need it and I'm really fatigued a lot of the time. But I see it
Mm-hmm.
around me where we're in such a go, 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 go flow that
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you're gonna kill yourself, babe. Yeah, this is a
Mm-hmm.
slow death.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow we're okay with it
Mm-hmm.
because, yeah, I need to do this and no, it's like, no, 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 no. The world will go on without you. Trust.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Trust. So I would say rest. And that's also why I'm making an exhibition about it.
Okay. Put the needle. Okay. And then to close it off, I know that you have a particular thing with hope.
But yes.
Can you tell us about hope?
So I'd say this. There's two kinds of hope. You
Mm-hmm.
have realistic hope and you have delusional hope. The
Yeah.
realistic one is you have a pattern of
Mm-hmm.
actions, proof, receipts, whatever
Mm-hmm.
that you can rely on. And it's like, no, because he or she has done it in the past, I can hope that they will do it in the future. Totally
Again.
fine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The delusional hope comes in when that other person has showed you nothing
Mm-hmm.
but the opposite of what you're hoping for, and you're still gonna be like, yeah, but I hope he changed. Yeah, but no, sis, he's not gonna change. We need to take him as he is,
Mm-hmm.
and he's the complete opposite of what you want, or
Mm-hmm.
she, whatever. Uh, so I think too many times we tap into delusional hope. It's
Mm-hmm.
such a big one for us that we don't see reality as it is, or we alter it in our minds. And then it's like, yeah, but I hope that, da, 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 da. No,
Mm-hmm.
I
You
think
got
it's a
to
way
with
to
the
cope.
facts.
Yeah, I think it's a
Uh-huh.
way to cope because if you do see reality as it can be very painful, harsh,
Mm-hmm.
sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And do you think that hope is more of a feminine, female thing that we use? Or is it also a masculine, male thing?
What I see around me, I'd say more of a female thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I don't have a lot of men around me to say
Okay.
like, no, no, no,
Uh-huh.
actually. But
Mm-hmm.
from what I've seen, it's a lot of I'm trying to change him, la di da di da, or sometimes it's not even a romantic situation, but just at work or
Mm-hmm. Family wise or
sometimes,
whatever.
yeah, sometimes it's also a way if you hope something is the outcome, then you don't have to say the necessary things that are probably
Mm-hmm.
going to hurt someone.
Yeah. True. You don't
Right?
have to take responsibility for your part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that is also connected to the emotional maturity, what you talked about.
Yeah. Sure. For
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And for everybody who doesn't know, this is my daughter, and it's great
Surprise.
to hear you talk and hear you speak also of me and your experience in life, my daughter. But thank you for doing this. And I know that a lot of people still don't know that I have two kids and that you were part of a twin.
Mm.
And I did the same interview with my son, but that is a very long one, and I'm still not sure if we're gonna put it out there. So that's also a funny one. But maybe we don't want to
Yeah,
get it.
yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see.
But thank you for showing up and tell your story because everybody is a story and everybody has a story.
Amen. Thank you.